Hello everyone. If you are joining after the race that has already happened, then feel free to skip forward to qualifying as I get things set up. Hello Rick. Yeah, I figured. Alright, let's see. Commentary stream. Okie dokie. Drop a like, Rick, while you're here. The last corner is turn 27, got it. And that is turn 11. It's turn 4. Okay. I'm trying to remember. Full wet race. Well, I hope not, but it shouldn't be. Saudi Arabia. Turn 27 is the Verstappen nightmare. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It was unexpectedly slow last week in qualifying, anyway. And Perez was robbed by a badly timed safety car, which was very unfortunate. But anyway, we're about to get started. Let me see. Is Plevs here today? He is not. I guess he's lost interest in ESRL, which is unfortunate. Eat Apple is here again, which is going to be much to the disappointment of Rick, because it means I'm going to have to pronounce his name several times on the stream. Latifi got his drink subscription cancelled. Always Latifi. Oh, we had to. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Unfortunate, but very understandable. Anyways, I'll do my best. So here we are for what is the Human Rights Grand Prix, as I like to call it, here in Jeddah. Very twisty, very technical track. It's absolutely fantastic feeling to get this track right in qualifying, but very, very difficult to do. But if you get the perfect lap, you know you've got it. You know you've got it. Unlike some tracks where you can do what you think is an amazing lap, and then you look at the time and you're 8/10 down on your time trial, and like, what? But this is not one of those tracks. If you get it right, you really get it right. So it's going to be interesting to see who can get it right today. I'd wager NER Ayrton is definitely going to be one of those people. He is currently our championship leader. He has won 5 races out of 5. And he looks pretty much unstoppable. Even starting from the back of the grid in Baku, he still came and managed to win the race. So do not count him out. As we see Vans Racing come into the 3rd sector on his outlap, about to start the first lap of the session. We'll ride on board with the Alfa Romeo. The Irishman, I believe. Vans Racing. Around the final corner, turn 27, and off to start his lap. DRS open all the way down this main straight. Coming into turn 1, remember no assist, so you've got to find where that sign is, and he's braked a little bit early there, but it is a banker lap. I'm sure he'll be correcting it for the next one. So fairly slow through turns 1 and 2, and then turn 3, or turn 4 rather, just a little bit conservative, and maybe struggling with the setup a bit, Vans Racing. Luckily that other car getting out the way, but he invalidates at that corner, and a little wiggle of the steering wheel. I don't know if he knew he was being watched or not. We'll ride on board with Tyr instead in the Haas as he comes through sector 1. Oh no, he's missed that corner there. I think Tyr has neglected a bit of practice today. So we'll ride on board with Avi instead. He's always one to watch, but he goes wide as well. Doesn't invalidate, lifts just enough for the game to forgive him for it. And comes down to the hairpin now, all the way around in 3rd, 4th gear, into 5th on the exit. A little bit wide on entry, but it doesn't really cost you on that corner. As he comes now, this is a very committed corner. You've got to really punch through it to get the time you want. And Avi a little bit conservative there maybe, but again, I'm sure he'll correct it for the next time. We are on elite settings, remember, in ESRL. It's in the name. That's a very good section through turn 20 and 21 and 22 though. Very, very nice from Avi as he comes down to the final actual corner on the track, which is turn 27. Brakes just at about 70 meters before the corner, but a little bit wide on entry. Tyr's first lap for now, but Avi is going to smash that as he comes across the line in a 1 minute 28.4. And that is the initial pace, which everyone will be trying to beat. There's a Mercedes. Is that Speed Alcoholic coming to the last corner? Yes, it is. And he's on a lap, but he's on the mediums, so he may not be up there with Avi, but speed, we know he's got a lot of pace in that Mercedes. Showsman sets the fastest lap. Haven't seen him in a while. Good to see him back. He's beats Avi by just over 100th of a second as Speed sets a 29.5 on the mediums. I'm sure he'll come out again on the softs. H. Geno very deep into turn 5 and invalidates. Patty Pat also invalidated. Is anyone on a decent lap? Scott is just about starting a lap. We'll switch back to dynamic view as Irapel comes across the line. What's he going to be? It's a 28.1. Much better from the Haas. And the Dutchman takes pole position for now. Is NER Ayrton is still in the pits. Major is invalidated. Here comes Aces. No, he's going slowly. Ted's in the pits. Let's see, Myra has invalidated, H. Geno invalidated, Patty Pat invalidated, Scott invalidated. Everyone has invalidated, it seems. Ace is going very slowly. Yeah, very slowly, so he's not on a lap. So we'll ride on board with Major. Nath Clark MC has joined, which is just in time for qualifying. But Major is invalidated again on his second lap, so he's not going to be looking forward to watching that back. Hello Lifebelt, welcome to the chat. We've currently got Eat Apple in P1, but a lot of drivers struggling with invalidating their laps here in Jeddah, which is very, very easy to do, especially through Sector 1. It's so easy to overcommit just a little bit. Myra will be looking to not do that on their second lap here in the Alpine. Here they come. Seemed pretty smooth, but it's hard to tell from the dynamic feed if it's actually fast or not. As he comes down to the hairpin, it's a purple sector 1 though, so Myra looking good here on those soft tyres. Of course, podium sitter from last race. Oh my word, that was so committed there through that section. Very, very nice from Myra. Just needs to get this final complex of corners correct now, and I think we will see the Alpine go onto pole position. Very good through there, very, very smooth. Very committed from the Alpine, and I think we're going to see a new pole sitter here. Round 2, the final corner of the track, turn 27 into 3rd gear all the way around, 4th very quickly on the exit. Very committed indeed from Myra. This is a fantastic lap from the Alpine, a great banker. Is it going to be pole? Yes, 27.6 from the Alpine. First lap cautious, then risk it all. Just putting a lap in will help a lot. Yes, 100%. The first lap, you just need to get a banker lap. If you don't get a banker lap, you're going to find it so much harder. As Rick goes into P6. Scott was invalidated again, unfortunately, as has Lostock. Ayrton still in the pits. Here's Nath Clark in the Ferrari today. Womack's with a 5-second penalty for a collision with Ted. What's happened there? Ted has stopped on the turn 2, just getting out of people's way, I assume. Oh, be careful, Ted. There's a Ferrari behind you. Oh. So something must have happened there between Ted and Womack's. I'm sure we'll see that in the stewards if it was anything egregious. Myra into the pits, I'm sure. Here comes Rick. Is he on another lap, the Dutchman? Looks like it. That was a bit choppy though, and yeah, he's backed out of this lap. Went from P13 to P4 in the first 2 corners. How the hell did you manage that, huh? How on earth did you manage that? Actually, no, I know how you managed that. There was a lot of carnage that happened, wasn't there? Because Europa got taken out and then took a lot of people out with him. So I can see it, but it's still a bloody impressive start from you. So nice job. This is Scott on a lap in the McLaren. Hard to tell. I think he's on a lap. But they are 2-lap-old soft tyres, going to be 3 laps. In fact, maybe 4, because I don't think it counts the outlap. So, Scott on old tyres here, hoping to set a decent lap, but clips the wall on entry to that corner there. And that will cost him a lot of time in the McLaren as he goes on the run down to the last corner. Not many people going for mediums. No, it's not the right thing to do around here, I don't think. The mediums. Here comes Scott, getting a bit of a toe off his teammate as he comes to the line. It's a 32.0 though from the McLaren, so he'll be hoping he can improve quite a bit on that. Here's Amir, the reigning champion of ESRL. He's on the mediums. What can he do? He's currently P2 in the standings, but he's a long way behind Ayrton, who is on an outlap, so the final boss bar comes across the screen at the top as Ayrton takes to the track. Here comes reigning champion Amir, currently the only challenger really to Ayrton. Avi has set a better lap, by the way. He's done a 28.0, so still quite a way off Myra, but a little better, and it puts him on the front row for now. But is Amir going to better that? Here he comes. Around the final few corners. Is the AlphaTauri going to get in his way? I hope not. I don't think so. It's too far down the road. Here comes Amir now. Brake at the 70 mark around about. And around the final corner. Don't do a Verstappen. He is in a Red Bull, but he manages to avoid the wall. And on the run to the line. Opens DRS, but it's a slow first lap from Amir. But he is on the mediums. So 29.9 on the mediums isn't too bad at all. So keep an eye on Amir. I'm assuming he's going to start on the mediums, which is different. Are you allowed to cut corners on out-in laps? I'm not sure, mate. I'm not the person to ask. Ask Scott. Ayrton has invalidated his first lap though, so he's going to have to go again in the AlphaTauri. So not quite yet. Is Ayrton going to take the pole position, but I'm sure he'll be in the mix when he manages to set a lap. Speed Alcoholic has gone on to the softs, and he's not doing another lap, so 29.5 is not the best from Speed. He puts him in P6, which is not what he would have wanted at all. So, tricky day it could be for Speed Alcoholic. Ace versus Kings, and Lostock. We haven't seen him in a while in ESRL, but he's invalidated this lap, unfortunately for him. It's good to see him back on track. Nath Clark, MC, had his win stolen from him by an AI, quite literally, as he has a huge slide in the final corner of Sector 1 there, just about manages to hold it. Well held there from the Ferrari, but yeah, he was on for his debut win in Azerbaijan last week, but couldn't quite manage it, just crashing with a few laps to go, so he'll be looking to make amends today. 8 people still haven't set a time. Yeah, no, people struggling to set times around here. Very tricky track this can be to not invalidate your laps, as Nath Clark, well, it looks like he's gone purple through Sector 2, but I don't trust Sector 2 purple times, because the game is quite buggy in that regard. Nath Clark sliding around a few corners on this lap though, so it's not going to be the best opening lap from him, but we'll have to see where it's going to put him. I think he's going to be in the 1 minute 30s, or the 29s. 29s, 28s, 28.7, so he can do a lot better than that. So to be P6 must be very encouraging for him after what I'm sure he'll know was not the best lap. As Rick goes into P5, that's a good lap from the Dutchman in the Williams. As Ayrton can only manage a 29.4. What has happened to the championship leader as Myra goes even faster, a 27.4, 2 seconds faster than the championship leader, who seems to be really struggling out here in Saudi Arabia. It would be quite a shock to see him outside of even the top 5 today. So I wonder if he'll head into the pits and go out again, but is he going to have enough time to do that? I wonder. We'll have to keep an eye on the circumstances, but Myra 6/10 clear of Avi 84. The Alpine really going very fast today and looking to make amends for last time out where they couldn't quite seal the win, losing it on the final lap, and in fact losing P2 as well. H. Geno goes P4, that's a good lap from the Ferrari, who got his first podium in the now merged 2 tiers of ESRL in the Netherlands. Sorry, in France, with a drag race to the line. It was a very, very exciting finish. And H. Geno managed to prevail, got on the podium, and that's a decent first attempt from the Ferrari. Lostock is currently P8, but still 4 drivers can't set a lap. Ace is into the pits, having invalidated several times. Ted, Womack and Vans are going to have one final attempt here. I don't think they're going to have time for another lap. It's going to be close. I can't tell because of the yellow flag, but certainly going to be close. There we go, 2 minutes 40, so they do have time for 2 laps here, but their tyres are going to suffer. Although that's not too much of a problem around here. The tyre wear is very, very forgiving at this track, so they shouldn't be too much at risk. I've got to keep an eye on if Ayrton is coming out the pits. Ayrton's just gone into the pits. I don't think there's going to be enough time for the championship leader to go again, so we're going to see Ayrton out of the top 10 in this qualifying session. Did he just not get the lap together, or does he not like this track? We'll have to wait and see with the race pace, because that will really show where he is at. But Amir only a 10th up. through sector 1 on the softs. Remember, that first lap was set on the mediums, so not the best first sector from the reigning champion. As he comes down in towards sector 3. And he's down, in fact, on his previous lap. So I think Amir is going to be going again on those softs. So a bit of a struggle for the Red Bull, it seems. Was that a raindrop that I saw, or am I going blind? I think it might be the latter. I think I'm seeing things. But here comes Amir. Is he going to come into the pits? He's coming into the pits, so he's going to start on the medium tyre down in P13, but he's still behind his championship rival. I think that's the wrong call from Amir. I think he's got to take advantage of a struggling Ayrton and set a big lap on the softs. I think that's what he had to do, and he hasn't done it. So Amir relying on the alternate strategy here, but it might be the wrong call. Win it or bin it. Doesn't have enough fuel. Maybe. Showsman through sector 1, 5 tenths up. So can anyone challenge Myra for that pole position? Myra is so far clear of the rest of the field at the moment. Avi has invalidated, so he won't be beating the Alpine unless he has time to go again. Yeah, he will have time, but whether those tyres are going to be up to the task is another question entirely. Eat Apple coming through sector 1 as well, but I'll keep an eye on Showsman and maybe Rick as well, as he's coming across the line to start a new lap. Showsman 5 tenths up, but it's still a long way off Myra. 5 tenths off the his teammate, in fact, the Alpine. Can they get a absolutely massive third sector? There's not really much time to gain in the third sector, so I doubt it, but I think this will see Showsman onto the front row. Speed has retired from the session. That's huge news. He's down in P12, as Showsman can only manage P4 in the end, so maybe had a subpar final sector. Eat Apple is up through sector 1 though, and sector 2, but not enough. It's only just under a tenth. There was the stricken car of Speed Alcoholic, so he'll be starting in P12. The 3 arguably fastest drivers in ESRL are currently starting P11, 12 and 13. So we'll have to see if they can make their way back up the grid. Here comes Eat Apple, takes a bit of a toe off the Williams as he comes up to the line. I don't think it's going to be enough for pole. No, it's not, but it is the front row for the Haas, but still 5 tenths off Myra. Major de Sola, 28.3 on the mediums, and I think Major is going to be a serious contender for the win today. That is some serious pace on those medium tyres. Rick goes into P3 though with a 28.0, so not bad at all from the Williams. He's going to be a threat for the podium for sure, as I think that is it for qualifying. So Myra and Eat Apple make up the top 2 positions on the grid, with Rick P3, Ayrton all the way down in P11, Speed Alcoholic P12, and the reigning champion Amir in P13. Very, very interesting qualifying session, I think it's fair to say. Rick didn't bin it yet. Now, let's be optimistic. But anyway, it is the Finn Myra in the Alpine on pole position by a long distance. That was a fantastic lap from Myra, taking pole by nearly half a second over the Dutchman Eat Apple in P2, and his countryman Rick follows in P3, Avi P4, Showsman P5 on a return, Major P6 on the mediums. Keep an eye on the German for sure. Geno P7, Nath Clark down in P8 this time, Lostock P9, Patty Pat in a decent P10, and then Ayrton, the championship leader, down in P11, Speed Alcoholic P12, Amir P13, some huge shocks here, Vans Racing P14, and then Womack's Ted hoots too much, and the last 2, Scott and Aces at the back of the grid. Aces unable to set a lap in the end. Right, while the formation lap is going, feel free to make your predictions in the chat, but I'm just going to refill my glass of water because I feel like my throat's going to be very dry after this race. I feel like this is going to be a good one. I am back. Good luck to you, Rick. I'm just going to open the door because it's bloody hot in here. The PS4 gets very hot. Myra leads us off for the formation lap. Looks like you're the only one in chat, Lifebout, so give us a prediction. Who do you think's going to be on the podium today? Enable all of this. Okay, let's see the tyre choices. So obviously major P6 on those medium tyres, massive threat for the race win, is the Alfa Romeo, as long as he can cut through the field later on. Yeah, it is a bit lonely in here. But Ayrton, Speed, Amir, Vans, Tier, all starting on the mediums. Ted, Hoots Too Much, and Scott, who's already been disqualified from the formation lap, which is odd. But all of them on the softs, and then Aces and Womack starting on the mediums at the back. I think the strategy is, I mean, it's a one-stop every single time, but you don't want to go on the hards around here. They are terrible. Even if there's an early safety car, I say put the mediums on and go to the end if you're starting on softs, and that's why I think starting on the mediums is not the best call, because this track is so liable to safety cars, and if one comes out early, the soft guys are just going to pit onto mediums, and you're going to be left absolutely stranded because they're going to be able to go to the end. Tyre wear is so forgiving on this track, so yeah, tough to call. Speed, Myra, Ayrton, says Lifebout. I'm going to go with Major for the win, followed by Myra. No. Major, followed by Ayrton, followed by Myra, is what I'm going to go with. And anyway, we're lining up on the grid now. Myra will be hoping to turn that pole position into a win today after they couldn't quite manage to hold off the cars behind on the last lap last week. Ayrton, Rick and Scott, says Rick. I hope to see Scott on the podium, but I think that's a long shot. But anyways, last cars lining up on the grid. We've got a full 20 car grid today, which you just love to see. Let's make it a very good race. Good luck to everyone as we're getting underway for the Human Rights Grand Prix. 5 red lights, and we're underway. Myra gets a good start, but Eat Apple gets a better one, but Rick gets an even better one behind and nearly gets squeezed out by Myra. Looks like there's a lot of changes going on at the back as well, but it's a great start for Myra. Eat Apple, the two Dutchmen, side by side into turn 4. Who's going to get the better run? It's going to be Rick, who's going to take P2. Nath Clark already up to P4. Fantastic start for the Ferrari. Ayrton, Speed and Amir already up a position each on Patty Pat, it seems, who's had a terrible start. Avi P5 fairly comfortably. Let's look at near to the mid-pack. Is Lostock going to be able to make a move on Major, who's had a terrible start, really struggling on those mediums to start with, but of course towards the end of the race Major's going to be hoping that that call is going to work, but currently under a lot of pressure. Currently under a lot of pressure from Lostock. We've also got Eat Apple pressuring Rick and Nath Clark pressuring the Haas behind as well. Here comes Lostock. Is he going to make the move on the Alfa Romeo? Not quite. It's going to be tricky at this part of the track. Ted and Womack's also close together near the back. As Hoots Too Much and Tier have had a terrible start. Look how far behind they are already, as Myra already opens up a 1 second gap to Rick in P2, but it's going to be Eat Apple in P2, and it's going to be Nath Clark in P3. Rick getting absolutely mugged here. 2 cars on one straight, and Rick just has no answer apart from the exit. Can the Williams get a much better exit than the Ferrari? It looks like it. Is there ERS being used? Yes, there is. So Nath Clark slots in behind, but is going to make another move into turn 1. Maybe has a look and has a think, makes Rick think about it, but no move from the Ferrari, who's not willing to throw away such a good start so early on with a reckless dive down the inside at turn 1. Aces versus Kings also up 6, by the way. Lostock with a 3-second time penalty already. That is not a good sign. And Womack's also up 5 as Nath Clark goes very wide and as such gets a fantastic exit with which to fight against Rick. Rick squeezes him to the wall, but no contact made, and squeezed again goes Nath Clark all the way around the outside of the Williams. What a move this will be, and it is a move into P3 as Rick goes very deep into the next corner to avoid him and loses the place to Avi as well. So Nath Clark with a fantastic move to get up to P3 already. And I'm going to change back to the tyres. We've got yellow flags. Is that Scott? No, it's Ted at the back who's had a crash. So unfortunate for the McLareners. Is that Rick again going wide? Maybe he has damage in the Williams. It's hard to tell. There's no visible damage, but of course there can be a very slight nick to that front wing which we can't see, and that might be why Rick is shipping positions left, right and centre here. Look how slow, so much understeer. There's definitely damage to that Williams. I think we'll see him come into the pits. Yeah, we do indeed, so that's so unfortunate for the Dutchman. But Eat Apple sets the fastest lap. He's not willing to let Myra go, so Myra is looked like at the start of the race that they were going to pull clear of everyone else, but that has not been the case. Eat Apple keeping them honest as Showsman goes very deep there while being pursued by the Ferrari of H. Geno, with Major just behind as well on those medium tyres, and Ayrton, Speed and Amir, the big 3 on those mediums behind as well. 7, 8, 9 and 10, the 3 of them are, and looking to get themselves back in this race. But Speed has lost a lot of time, and Patty Pat goes around the outside of Lostock. I think that was a bit of team orders there. So the Briton into P12. But yeah, Speed Alcoholic already 2 seconds down on Ayrton. So Ayrton clearly got a lot of pace on the other members of the big 3. The reigning champion down in P10, being pressured by aces at the moment. What happened, Rick? Well, I mean, you can't say now, but I do wonder what happened. Clearly you got damage from something. Major Dasola putting H. Geno under pressure now with the DRS. Of course, H. Geno is going to have it as well, but Major looking to make the move as soon as he can here. It's not going to be in the final corner, but maybe is going to try and get a better run up to turn 1. Not quite, so no move yet from the German in the Alfa Romeo. Tier gets himself a 3-second time penalty already as well, as the leaders, the top 3, within a second of each other, and Avi just behind as well. All of them putting each other under pressure. There's no time being given at all. Myra maybe thought they would be able to power clear after an absolutely dominant performance in qualifying, but that has not been the case. In Apple definitely staying with them, as Nath Clark and Avi also there as well. Is Nath Clark going to make a move into turn 14? Oh, nearly hits the back of Eat Apple. I think there was a bit of contact there, but it won't be enough for any damage, as Nath Clark putting the Haas under pressure, who's losing time to Myra now. So Nath Clark may be saying to the Haas, right, you're not putting Myra under pressure anymore, so it's my turn. Let me pass and I will go for the lead. Check ERS. Nath Clark on 40%, Eat Apple on 40%, Myra on 70%. So clearly a bit of conservation from the Alpine for now. Avi also on 85% though, so the Red Bull looking very strong. And here comes the Red Bull on Nath Clark, going to make the move down the inside. There's a bit of contact as Avi tries to find the gap. Does find it, but Nath Clark going to get the better exit out of the hairpin. and Avi is going to have to settle for P4, but is it going to stay that way? Here comes Avi again, sets the fastest lap round the outside of the Ferrari into turn 1 as Nath Clark brakes very late and hits the back of E-Rappel, and it looks like E-Rappel has been affected by that as well, but Nath Clark, the big loser, down to P5, lucky to not lose out even more there, but still just behind Major. And now E-Rappel and Avi well behind Myra, who is music to Myra's ears. That little bit of carnage there. But Nath Clark still in the race, goes very, very deep into that corner. Is that going to invite Showsman? Maybe, not quite. So are those mediums coming into play for Major de Sola now, and maybe Ayrton as well? Look at the speed, Alcoholic 4 seconds behind as Ayrton looks to make a move on H. Geno as soon as he can. So obviously that qualifying pace is not indicative of the race pace of the AlphaTauri. Maybe just didn't get the lap together. So Ayrton definitely going to be challenging for a podium today, I think. Speed Alcoholic well down though, and Amir as well, only just staying with speed and not able to make any headway on the rest of the pack, with Aces also putting them under pressure from behind. As Showsman goes around the outside of Nath Clark here, and is that going to be 2 positions lost? It is for Nath Clark. H. Geno also around the outside of his teammate. And now round again. Here comes Nath Clark with the better exit out of the hairpin. Is H. Geno going to be able to find the move on the Alpine in front? Or is he going to have under too much pressure from his teammate? There's 3 wide into turn 1. Who's going to lose out? It's going to be the Alpine, but Nath Clark breaks far, far too late. And H. Geno pays the price. They both pay the price. And Nath Clark really not getting the turn 1 right there and costing both Ferraris big time. I don't know if H. Geno would have taken damage. It doesn't look like it. He looks fine. So lucky to get away with that as E-Rappel gets himself 3 seconds. So not ideal for him at all. Nath Clark back on the back of Showsman again though. Avi within DRS. Yeah, good point. So Myra unable to break free of Avi, and Avi looking very, very fast in the race here, but Nath Clark looking to make a move on Showsman as soon as possible. It's not going to be there. You can't make a move into there, but maybe into the last corner, because Showsman not going to have DRS. Nath Clark just needs to be patient here, but he's got to keep an eye on Ayrton behind as well, who is pushing hard and able to stay with these guys. Amir, by the way, has gotten past speed, but is still nearly 4 seconds down on the pack ahead. Here comes Ayrton, way more ERS around the outside of Nath Clark. Is it going to be 3 wide into the final corner? It is! Maybe, yes it is! It's going to be 3 wide! Nath Clark backs out and Ayrton makes 2 positions in 1 straight. But is it going to stay that way as Showsman gets a poor exit, gets a bit of oversteer and takes out the Ferrari of H. Geno behind? They both have to come into the pits, but it is pit time anyway as Nath Clark goes down the inside of Ayrton with a very simple move. So but it's not over yet. Here comes Ayrton again with a better exit out of turn 2, but is not going to make the move there. Ayrton a lot more sensible than that. Is going to stick behind Nath Clark, who gets a 3-second time penalty. So Ayrton not necessarily having to fight with the Ferrari here, but a lot of things happening as Nath Clark goes into the wall at the final corner. And, oh, ghosting is off. The other cars have got to be careful. Oh, my goodness me, that was close. Nath Clark gets his car round and doesn't take anyone out. And Showsman has come out on the wet, which... okay. I mean... Alright. We're just going to move on from that. Avi, by the way, has gotten past Myra. I'm sorry I missed that overtake for the lead. I was too busy looking behind at the battle with Nath Clark and everyone else. But Myra is going to have the overspeed and the DRS coming into the last corner. Avi with the ERS disadvantage on the Alpine. So we do have a battle for the lead here. Learn from Rick, yeah. As Vans Racing has gone to the hards, which is not the call. We've got Rick getting past Showsman and Major de Sola getting past E-Rappel just behind for P3 as well. And we're going to see that Alfa Romeo really push after those top 2 now. But are we? E-Rappel coming back at him, but not quite getting the exit he needed. to make the move into turn 4. So Major into P3 and off after the top 2 now, as Avi has in fact cleared Myra 1.1 seconds, 1.2. So Myra struggling in this latter part of the stint, and Avi really, really strong at this point in the race. Nath Clark pits, and is going to be coming out well behind his teammate. After that spin, of course. Sorry, you're gonna hear me drinking a few times, because my throat is already getting sore. We're only on lap 8. It shows it's a good race though, as Speed Alcoholic still putting Amir under pressure here for P6, and Ace is just behind as well, waiting for something to happen in that Mercedes. Tier gets himself another penalty, not ideal for him, as Showsman comes in for a slick tyre, which I think is the correct strategy call. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think going on to the wets at this point is the best idea. I didn't realise there's a huge pool in the middle of the track there. That's quite cool. But anyway, Aces nearly goes down the inside of his teammate, but he's going to get the better run, is he? Not quite, actually. Speed gets a much better run onto turn 1, and is he going to make a move on Amir? The championship, the reigning champion rather, is going to be overtaken by the Mercedes. Is he going to be overtaken by 2 Mercedes? Not quite. Ace is not able to make the move and just has to watch as Amir is down to P7 now. And these medium runners running strong. Major de Sola, by the way, not able to make any headway on the top 2 quite yet, but Aces is looking much faster than Amir, almost pushing the Red Bull through Sector 1. We've seen this before, Mercedes and a Red Bull at the Jeddah Street Circuit. Hopefully it doesn't end the same way that it ended last time. But Aces looks pretty strong at this point in the race, and Amir looks pretty weak, it has to be said. The reigning champion struggling for pace at this point in the race. All 20 cars still in the race, by the way, which is an achievement in itself at this track. Not so smart to use ERS because of high downforce. Well, with ERS use, you've just got to be smart. You've got to not use it when you don't have to use it. That's the sort of short form. As Ayrton is going to go for the move on ERAPL, and into P4 goes the AlphaTauri, and is going to be off after Major de Sola now. But is ERAPL going to be able to come back? Not quite. So Ayrton into P4, and Major de Sola is going to be very vulnerable here to the AlphaTauri. So Major not quite on the pace of Ayrton, it seems, in the race, as Ayrton goes down the inside into turn 1, and Major not even going to fight that one. It's got a 3-second penalty as well, the Alfa Romeo, so not ideal at all for Major, who looks so quick in qualifying, but Ayrton is just absolutely something else in this race, and he's definitely going to be off after the top 2 now. Is Major going to be able to stay with him is the question. He is for now, but how long will that last? As Aces gets himself a 3-second time penalty, the next casualty of track limits. As Nath Clark sets the fastest lap at the back of the grid on those fresh mediums. Got 9 cars out of 20 with track limits penalties, and I think that number is going to grow as the race goes on. Major de Sola still keeping with Ayrton, who they're coming up to a back marker now, so hopefully, yeah, there we go. So Hoots to Much getting out of the way of this small pack of cars. ERAPL trying to stay with these 2 as well, but Ayrton just looks so smooth on those medium tyres at this point in the race, and is already catching the top 2. 3.5, that was 3.7 earlier in the lap. Major is going to be able to make a move perhaps, as Ayrton a little bit slidey out of the final corner. So here comes the German in the Alfa Romeo, as Aces gets past Amir as well into the final corner, and Amir has lost another position. No, he hasn't. Amir's back on him, so still side by side they go. Ayrton has been passed by Major into turn 1. I think that was a relatively simple DRS overtake, but we've got to stay with these 3 because they're nearly 3 wide into turn 1. And Speed Alcoholic round the outside of Amir, who tries to make the move but can't quite do it and is in fact low on fuel. So Amir perhaps expecting a safety car this race, and it hasn't happened yet. So he's going to have to start lifting and coasting the reigning champion at some point, as Avi and Myra have both come into the pits for the mediums for their only stop of this race. And now they need to push, because they need to make headway on those guys in front who are going to pit at the end and going to be a lot faster on the soft tyres. Here comes Aces. He's pushing Amir through the hairpin once again. These two going at it, but Ace is just not quite able to make the move stick, as he has to go very deep into that corner and saves the car just about on the exit. A good save from Aces, but it's lost him a lot of time, as Ayrton now is going to make another move on Major. These two going at it. I think it's going to be a fight between these two for the win today, but Avi and Myra, don't count them out at all, as Ayrton gets past, but Major is going to have the DRS up towards turn 1, and Eat Apple is also staying with them, but I think we'll be into the pit soon, but not yet. The Haas staying out. Here comes Major down the inside of the AlphaTauri, and yes, again, a very simple DRS overtake. These two just happy to swap positions and work together for now, to try not to lose too much time to Avi and Myra, as Amir also gets past Speed Alcoholic around the outside of turn 1. Good overtake from the Red Bull. Is Speed going to have another go? No, he's going to think better of it and settle back in behind, as Patty Pat watches on in the Aston Martin as well. We've got yellow flags in Sector 2, Sector 3. I think that was a Ferrari. I'm not sure which one. Maybe it was a back marker getting out the way. But here comes Speed Alcoholic on Amir again. The Red Bull is going to be under pressure from the Mercedes down the inside into the hairpin, as Nath Clark has retired from the session at the last corner. He's done a Verstappen, it seems, at the final corner, but Speed not able to make the move. His Ace is going to make the move around the outside of his teammate. Surely not. There's contact, and I think that might be damage to Aces. It looked fairly heavy, as Avi now is after them. The man who has pitted onto fresh mediums is already caught up to this pack, as Aces, is he going to be struggling? We've got more people into the pits further back, but is Aces struggling? It doesn't look like it. It looks like he's fine, so lucky to get away with that is the Mercedes. But here comes Speed on Amir again, down the inside into the final hairpin. But is Speed gonna... Yes, he is. He's gonna play a bit of DRS games, as E-Rapple finally comes into the pits on those softs. But Speed Alcoholic is going to have the DRS up to turn 1, and this should be a relatively simple move. Ace is going to have a go as well. As is Avi. Is it going to be 4 wide into turn 1? Surely not. Not quite, but Avi can't quite get past Amir. The Red Bulls, are they going to work together? It seems so. Avi up into P5 as the Mercedes go toe-to-toe as well. Avi needs to get past these guys as soon as possible, but Amir loses 3 positions in just a couple of corners, as Patty Pat finally comes into the pits off of those soft tyres as well. I think that's a little bit late, to be honest. As look at, I mean, you can see how late it is. Look how much time Eat Apple has lost. He's 5 seconds down on Myra already. Here comes Avi again down the inside of Speed. He's going to try and make the move early on, and he is going to make it as Speed goes very deep, and it hits him. In fact, a bit of oversteer. Avi somehow keeps the car out the wall after that contact. I have no idea how they both didn't end up in the wall there. How are they both on track? That is absolutely incredible. But Avi able to make the move just about, and now he's going to have the other Mercedes of Aces in his sights, and Amir, as well as NER Ayrton, gets round the outside of Major again, but it's going to be again another tit for tat. Major is going to have the DRS into turn 1 and should make the move fairly simply. No, he's not. He's coming into the pits. He's coming into the pits, the Alfa Romeo. So a set of soft tyres to the end for Major. I think that's early, actually. I think that's a couple of laps early. But look at these guys all behind again. It's Speed Alcoholic and Amir, and Myra behind as well, looking to make their way through on the fresh mediums. Here comes Myra down the inside of Amir, and Amir ships another position, but Myra not able to make the move on Speed, as Avi does get past Aces up ahead. But here comes Amir back again round the outside of Myra, and Myra has to back out, and this is just losing so much time for the Alpine, and they're going to really struggle to make headway on Avi if they're stuck behind these cars for too long. More team orders for Aston Martin further back by the looks of it, but here comes the Alpine of Myra again, trying to make the move into the hairpin and round the outside. Very late braking from Myra, and still plows around the outside of the Red Bull. They're still side by side into the next corner. This could go very badly, and Myra, yes, indeed, says, I am not doing that, and now just gets the better exit out of that complex of corners, but again, not able to get past. Look how much time the Alpine is losing to Avi up ahead. Avi already up into P2 with clear track, and Myra is just going to lose so much time behind Amir here, as Amir is in fact doing this to help Avi. I think this is Red Bull teammates working to perfection. Myra is faced with the brick wall of the Red Bull in front, trying to help his teammate win this race. And I don't think Myra's going to be able to get past. They've both got DRS. Here they go again, but Amir is into the pit, so ends the defensive effort, and Myra is finally set free. But look how much time has been lost. 2.5 seconds, 3 seconds to Avi, over 3 seconds, as there's a McLaren off the track there. I think that's Scott, so unfortunate for him. We've got more changes of position further back, but that's people coming into the pits. Aces and Amir both in. Onto the softs, Eat Apple, and here's Major De Sola. He's going to be catching Myra as Scott gets disqualified from the session, so I'm not sure what's happened there, but is that a safety car? It looks like that's a safety car. So that's massive for Ayrton. Ayrton with a huge advantage here, a free pit stop under the safety car. And that is just absolutely perfect luck for the championship leader. That is exactly what he needed. And Major has indeed pitted far too early, because now he's going to lose out big time to his rival for the win today. It's good news for Speed as well. He's not going to lose too much time. But Avi is going to be gutted by that safety car, because he was in prime position to win this race. Checo luck, literally, yeah. So Ayrton into the pits. Where is he going to come out? That's the question. How much time is he going to gain under the safety car? I think if he comes out behind Myra, then that's good news for those other people. But Avi's come in as well, and I think everyone's going to come in for the softs except Major De Sola. So Major stays out, and he's going to be in P1. So we're going to get about... Oh, is he actually? Ayrton is going to come out in P1, and that's going to be gutting for Major to see the AlphaTauri in front there. So unlucky, but he does have that 3-second time penalty, so he wasn't really in contention anyway. Avi has come out on another set of mediums, which is not the right call. I don't know if he meant to do that. If he did mean to do that, that is a very poor strategy decision from Avi. But I wouldn't be surprised if the game put him on mediums after he selected softs, because it has happened to people before. So I think Avi is going to get absolutely swallowed up at the safety car restart. On those mediums with all of those guys on fresh softs behind. The softs are so much faster than the mediums on this track. And they're faster for a long time. So Avi is going to really struggle here. He's going to get completely eaten up by all the cars behind. Speed Alcoholic is on track for a podium here, despite this clearly not being one of his favoured tracks. He's not quite being on the pace we normally see from the South African. But he's done well. He's made the best of what he's had. Ayrton, I mean, championship leader, and yes, he has looked extremely fast today, but I don't think he can deny there's been a lot of luck to get him into the position he's currently in. That safety car was perfect timing for the Dane, and he's going to look to make it 6 wins out of 6 in ESRL, and that really would be a feat. Speed Alcoholic in P4. Eat Apple is P6. Amir down in P7. Patty Pat running decently in P9. HGNO P10. And then Hoots to Much is going to be... I think Hoots to Much is lapped, actually. So, yeah, Hoots into the pits for a fresh set of softs, I assume. Ted stays out, which is certainly a decision that you can make. Tia also stays out on the hards, which, again, that's, you know, it's a decision. I'm not sure how good the decision is, but it's a decision. It's a decision. Not Hoots to Much coming out of the pits now, so I think the safety car is going to be with us for a little while. I don't think it will be in this lap, but it should be in lap 18, I would think. Major is going to be ruining that track limits penalty. 3 seconds for the Alfa Romeo, and if it weren't for that, I think he would really be challenging Ayrton for the win today, but as it is, that penalty is really going to cost him, unless he pressures Ayrton into also getting one. But, man, if Ayrton gets a track limits penalty, I will be very surprised. Very surprised. Even under pressure. We're going to be out one more lap for the safety cars, so we should get racing again at the start of lap 19, and then there will be 7 laps to the finish, with almost the entire grid on fresh softs, except for Avi, who has made a very, very bad call here, unfortunately for him. Pardon me. Yeah, De Sola, he needs to stay with Ayrton at the very least and try and put him under pressure. We are go again. That's very surprising. I thought we would be out another lap. But no, Ayrton down the inside of Major, sorry, down the inside of Ayrton already, but Ayrton with the much better exit out of turn 2. Fantastic driving from the AlphaTauri, the championship leader, proving why he is there. Speed Alcoholic pushing Avi through the next corner and nearly making the move in sector 1. Surely not Speed. He's going to make the move down the inside. And oh my word, how close is that? And Speed just about not managing to make the move, but wow, that was close. And he's now going to go round the outside of the Red Bull, who's going to get swallowed up at this restart. As I said, Speed just able to brake so much later. There's so much more grip on those softs. All the way around the outside goes the South African into P3. And Avi is going to lose out to Myra and Apple behind as well before the end of this race, I am sure. As Major already losing time on Ayrton. Look at this. 9/10 is the gap already to the AlphaTauri. Major's trying his best, but it's just not enough as H. Geno gets his way past Womack, an unconventional part of the track, as Aces also gets past Patty Pat around the outside of that corner. Oh my word, what a move from Aces versus Kings. Into P10 he goes. Patty Pat just with absolutely nothing to say to that. And Aces into P10. Lifebout saw front wing debris. I didn't, but I don't know. Maybe you're right. I'm not sure. But Myra in P5, currently trying to still chase after Avi, who's on those unfavourable medium tyres. Look how much more grip the Alpine has, but Myra struggles to overtake. We have seen this before. Struggles to overtake the slower cars. We saw it before with Amir earlier on in this race. And are we going to see it again with Avi here, who is staying with Speed despite being on the unfavourable tyre? And in fact, it's going to put the Mercedes under pressure here if Speed isn't careful. He's got to keep pushing, but look how much time they've lost to the top two. They are in a league of their own, already 3 seconds ahead, and Major a further second behind Ayrton. But here comes Myra. Needs to get a little bit of a better exit than that, though, to be able to make a move on the Red Bull. Apple as well looking behind, but he's got a 3-second time penalty. Amir the reigning champion is going to look to take advantage of all this as well as H. Geno. Don't forget about H. Geno. He has proven that he is a very fast driver and very worthy of being in the top few in ESRL, but Avi is going to make a move on the medium tyres against the fresh softs of Speed Alcoholic into the hairpin. It's going to force Speed into a wide line, but Speed gets a much better exit as a result. And now Avi is compromised to the Alpine of Myra behind, but there's no DRS yet, so he's going to struggle as Avi is going to go on the move for Speed Alcoholic for P3. Speed defends to the inside, and Avi not able to make that move stick, and Myra still looking to get past, but there's just no way through at the moment. Avi down to 50% ERS though, Myra on 80%, but makes a bit of a mistake there and manages to keep the car out the wall, but loses a lot of time. He's going to have to make that back up a second behind. Is he going to have DRS? And he gets a 3-second time penalty in trying to keep up, so Myra throws away their chances of a podium, at least at this point. Unless the cars ahead also get time penalties, but Myra with a penalty in the last few laps here, and that is going to cost the Alpine quite a lot, as Amir is looking to take advantage of those penalties behind. Could get a top 5 finish here, the reigning champion, as well as H. Geno in the Ferrari. Ace is with a time penalty, so he's not quite in the same vein as Major's already lost 3 seconds to Ayrton. Who is, to be fair, pressing a lot of that ERS button, down to 10%, but Major is also down to 30%, so it's not like he hasn't been pushing either. So I think this is a done deal for NER Ayrton today. Unless maybe there's damage to that Alfa Romeo, because Speed is gaining time through that sector. I don't know if that's the tyres being too worn, or if there's damage to that car. There may well be, because he's losing so much time to Ayrton, more than he was before. I think there's damage to that Alfa Romeo, and this could put Speed into P2 because of that time penalty that the German got earlier. 2.7, 2.6, there's definitely damage. The Alfa Romeo has got damage because Speed is catching so fast through this sector. So Major definitely struggling, but Avi could be in with a shot as well. Look how he's staying with Speed. I don't know how he's doing this on those medium tyres. Avi has got so much pace on this track, and I think if he'd chosen the softs when he came into the pits, he could be challenging for the win here. But as it is challenging only for P2. And just I say there may be damage to the Alfa Romeo. Major has made up time again, so I'm not sure now. It's difficult to say as Myra pushing Avi through that sector, but again, there's just no way through for the Alpine. Can't find a way to get past Avi. It's difficult to say, Lifebout. It really is. I cannot tell if Major has damage or not. It's really difficult to say. But here comes Avi on Speed Alcoholic, is going to make the move down the inside and is going to get the DRS. Speed trying to play the DRS game, but no, Speed has got the DRS. So it's advantage to the Mercedes. Oh yeah, they moved the DRS line in real life, so it's not the same as on the game. As Speed down the inside he goes, and Myra looking to make a move as well, but again Myra just not able to take advantage as Amir goes round. Amir has gone round at turn 2 and lost a bit of front wing. It's a disaster for the reigning champion as Avi makes a mistake and spins as well. Both Red Bulls out of the track. Well, both Red Bulls spinning and losing their cars on lap 22 within the space of 2 corners. 10 seconds of each other, and they both lose the car, so the Red Bulls down to P12 and P13 as the Constructors' Championship leaders have a disaster of a lap. And there's another safety car has come out, so that could really throw a spanner in the works here. Right at the end of this race, Showsman has crashed. I wonder if we can see where. No, definitely not. It's too far up. So, oh no. Are we coming up to it? No, he's going to despawn before Vans gets there. I'll still take a look though. 4 laps to go and we get a safety car. It's going to be 3 laps to go very soon. So where is that stricken Alpine? Yeah, just about despawned before we got there, but it looked like he lost it just at the exit, the end of Sector 1 there. So unfortunate for Showsman, but everyone else has to move on. There's late safety car, and it should come in this lap. So, because the game always makes sure there's 2 laps of green flag racing at the end, no matter what. So it should come in this lap. Womax has come into the pits, which is a huge mistake. Lostock has done the same thing. Amir also with the damage, of course. So Avi's going to get his way back up into P10, but yeah, it's a disastrous day for the Constructors' Championship leaders. Let's have a look at the Constructors' standings, actually, while we've got the chance. So Red Bull on 196, Alpine on 178, but the only driver for Alpine on track is Myra. And then it's AlphaTauri, who again only have Ayrton, well, and Hoots to much, but Hoots is right at the back and will only get a few points today. And then Alfa Romeo 125 in P4. And again, just even when Red Bull have a bad day, the other constructors just don't have the what's the word? They don't make the most of it, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, our points only for top 10. No, it's similar to APPF1. So points are for... There are points for everyone, but the podium sitters get more points. So it's not just 20, 19, 18, 17, and all the way down. It's, I think, it's 25 and then 20 and then something like that. But we are getting the safety car coming in now. So we are going to have 2 laps of green flag racing. Ayrton is famously extremely good at his safety car restarts. So when is he going to punch it here? Is he going to fool Major into losing time? Here is Ayrton coming around the hairpin. Is he going to punch it now? No. Yes, he's punched it now. He hasn't quite fooled Major at the same rate that he usually fools people, but Speed has got the run on Major here. Can he make a move down the inside into turn 1? We've got H. Geno weaving around the track in the background as Speed nearly pushes him through, and Myra looking for a way through as well on the Mercedes, but Speed manages to stay P3 for now. Remember, those time penalties are going to really be huge news at the end of this race, because Speed is going to get up to P2, and H. Geno is going to find himself on the podium at this rate, because all the drivers ahead of him have time penalties, and he's going to be in P3 as it stands. Vans Racing gets himself a time penalty. Avi gets himself a time penalty further back as well, so he's going to lose out to Womax. But Speed Alcoholic nearly going around the outside of Major there, pushing him through the hairpin. The Alfa Romeo is struggling here. 2 seconds is the gap to Ayrton. He is gone, but Speed is looking for P2 here. He wants it on track because he needs to defend from Myra as well, who's now going around the outside of the Mercedes. It's going to lose them both time, but Speed uses the ERS to stay ahead and stop that move from Myra. But it's still going to be close. Myra backs out in the end very sensibly, but it's going to be tricky. We've got yellow flags in Sector 2. I think that's a lapped car, but here comes Speed Alcoholic again. We're not going to have DRS, remember, as we come onto the final lap of this race. Who is going to get P2? It looks like it's going to be Speed at the moment, but H. Geno loses the place to Aces versus Kings. They're side by side at the back there through the hairpin. H. Geno back at him, but here comes Speed on the Alfa Romeo. He wants it on track. He wants to be safe from the onslaught of Myra behind. They're going to be side by side into turn 1. Speed all the way around the outside, has the inside for turn 2 and takes the place. So Speed comfortably into P2 now, and all he has to do is not make a mistake before the end, as Aces and H. Geno side by side further back. Aces very deep on the exit, but takes the place, and H. Geno could be in danger of not getting that podium here if he's not careful. He has to stay with these guys. We've still got action going on in this final lap, still battling for places. They're not battling for a podium because of H. Geno behind, but they're definitely battling for places as Myra nearly goes down the inside. There's contact as Myra hits the back of Major inadvertently on the exit of the hairpin. More yellow flags as here comes Myra again on Major, but does the Alpine have damage from the contact? It doesn't look like it, and Major's under pressure here. Is Myra going to make the move? I'm losing my voice, my jaw is hurting, but the action is just unstoppable here. Here comes Myra again. He's going to have the ERS, he's going to have the straight line speed up to the final corner. I would ride on board with Ayrton to see him win the race, but there's too much going on behind. Myra just not able to make the move. There's not enough time left in the race. Are we going to have drag race to the line? Patty Pat gets past Rick further back, but it's NER Ayrton who takes 6 wins from 6 and wins the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Speed takes P2. Who's going to take P4? It's Myra with a drag race to the line. The Alpine takes P4, and H. Geno, the lack of penalties pays off for the Ferrari, and he gets his 2nd podium in this merged form of ESRL after they merged the top 2 tiers together. Great drive from the Ferrari. Myra just about gets Major at the end. Oh, just about on the line. So close that was. Womack's in P6. Amir and Avi managed to salvage P7 and P8 in the end. Somehow the 2 Red Bulls still managed to finish both in the top 10 after their disaster on lap 22. Wow, what a finish that was. My jaw hurts. Womack's driver of the day. So, good drive today from the Bulgarian. What happened to you, Rick? But it's the Dane, NER Ayrton. 6 wins from 6 for the AlphaTauri driver. He is absolutely unstoppable. It's going to take a miracle for anyone to beat this man to the title this season. Yeah, you did. You did. I didn't expect Speed to come up to the podium, so fair play to him. Well done to H. Geno as well. But it is NER Ayrton takes the win and the fastest lap with a 29.1. Massively beats everyone else. Major De Solo, the only one anywhere near that time. Speed Alcoholic in P2 after a fantastic drive where it didn't look like he would be up there, but he manages to take a well-deserved 2nd place in the end. H. Geno with P3. Those lack of penalties were really paying off for the Ferrari. That's all you've got to do sometimes. Myra, the Finn, in P4, just missing out on the podium with Major in P5 after having so much pace. Disappointing in the end, really, it has to be said for him. Womack's P6, and then Amir, the reigning champion, P7. Avi P8 after the Red Bull disaster on lap 22. Ian Apple, the 2 Dutchmen in P9 and 10. Aces P11, Patty Pat. Vans Racing, Lostock, Tier, Ted, and Hoots Too Much are the last finishers, and then Showsman, Scott, and who was the last one? Showsman, Scott, and Nath Clark, of course, unable to finish the race. Got overtaken on the outside off track and took damage later from the same car. Ah, unlucky, man. Unlucky. But, wow, what a race in Jeddah we had today. And ESRL at its best today. 20 drivers, a full grid, and 17 of them managing to get to the end of a very, very tricky circuit. So well done to everyone who finished the race, but well done to Ayrton for making it 6 wins from 6, and he is marching his way to that title already. But thank you everyone for watching today. It's been a pleasure commentating for you, as usual, in ESRL. And I think we have a break week next week, so we won't be back next week. But in 2 weeks, we'll have round number 7, which is in Silverstone, which should be a very good race. So make sure you join us for that. And that will be in 2 weeks' time on the 15th of April at the same time of day. So thank you everyone for watching, and thank you Lifebelt, thank you, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.